Hello everybody, me Paddy from across the shuck, and I'm coming back with a nice normal video today. I've one thing to say. The young man who won the first prize in the draw has already received his prize. It only took about 8 days to get from Northern Ireland to America, so he sent his thanks to everybody for his knife. He doesn't have a channel himself, but he sent his thanks to Tony Meador and myself, and to all the channel. He loves the channel and he joins in with the conversations that we have. So congratulations to him, and the rest are on the way out tomorrow. So what am I going to talk about today? Well, a few weeks ago, and it's probably nearer a month, a young fella who's just started a new channel. He's called Stephen Smith, and the Stephen is spelled Steven. He spells it wrong, but I'm not going to hold that against him. So Stephen has just started a new channel, and he does a lot on guns, pistols, and knives. And his fledgling channel, go over there if you like him. As usual, I don't tell people to go and sub people just for the sake of it. You have to go over, have a look at the channel, and if you like him, give him a sub. Seems a nice fella. But what he'd done, he'd challenged me to show my sharpening gear. And at the time he did, I was in the process of changing my sharpening gear. As you know, I do freehand sharpening now most of the time. I very rarely even go to the Spyderco Sharp Maker now. So I'd said, look, I'll get round to doing it, but I'll wait until I've got the things that I've ordered, and I was getting stuff bought for me and things like that. So I said I'd wait. So now I've got most of the things that I want, and I do my sharpening. Like any fat fool, I sit in the armchair in my front room and I have my stuff all around me. And this is my stuff that I brought into this room to show you what I have around me and what I need to keep my knives in shape. And I just use it at night to either just tickle them if they've been used a couple of times during the day, give them a tickle, keeping them sharp. I don't let it go to the next day, because 9 times out of 10, I'll forget. And if I'm just bored and I haven't much to do, I'll pick a knife out and bring it in and just give it a wee sharpen. Not necessarily remove metal, I'll just strop it or, give it a clean out. I've started using this stuff, mineral oil, which I was recommended. Now, this is food safe. It's used for chopping boards and blocks. And I use that now on my knives just to loosen them. Sorry, this is a bit of eye candy I just put down here. And I've just changed this. So this is D2. It just drops shut. And that has got the mineral oil on it. And I'll have to say, so far, really pleased results. And the other thing is, it's good at keeping the corrosion off D2 blades. So I'm told. But that's something I'll find out very soon, I'm sure, if it's not. But it really is. I'm getting a very nice free drop out of that. So that's why I use the mineral oil. The other bottle that I would tend to keep around me is this. It's just an air duster. If I get, well, you know what it's like. I have fluff everything in my pockets. So there's a wee air duster there. It gives it a quick squirt and cleans out the internals of the knives. Now, a lot of this stuff, I buy, as you know, most of my stuff from China. Things like this, a little magnifying glass. This was, the old hands told me, get yourself a magnifying glass. And that way, this one actually has a wee light on it. If you'll see, it's quite dinky. And I can check the apex to make sure that when I sharpen, I'm getting down to the apex. And as we all know who hand sharpen, if you're not getting down to that apex, you ain't going to get a sharp blade. You can get it as shiny as you like, but you're not going to get a sharp one. So that, I've just received that. I had one before, but it wasn't strong enough, to be honest. So I have that. It's a nice little box. That sits in a little box by my chair. It's a little box that has 3 of these, and it has all the junk that every man would like sitting beside him. I have everything in it. But this one is my sharpening one. And the usual, this is for sharpening or for when I cut myself really badly, a bit of Loctite. And actually, that's the gel. I don't know whether everybody uses that. The gel is brilliant. There's more control in it. And hold that, super glue. It's, where does it tell you? It does say gel somewhere. No. But take it from me, that is the gel. Really good. Holds a cut well, but it doesn't run all over the place. You can put just a little dab of it. Now, this is my prized new thing. My son was away in Portugal and I'd asked him to see if he could get me traditional knives, but he didn't seem to find, I don't think he really knew what he was looking for, but anyhow, he didn't find. So he came back and he says, there you are, Dad, there's a few quid, get yourself something. So I wouldn't have normally spent this much money on sharpening gear, to be honest, because I don't have it. But these cost £34 to buy. This is a fine and an extra fine, DMT, which is diamond stones. And these are sort of the market leaders in them, DMT. Again, I haven't used it that much and I've cleaned it that well afterwards. It seems to be good. And that's all I'm going to say. I haven't used it extensively yet, but it does seem to be good. And I'm going to eventually get the course and the extra course in it to do reprofiling. This is just to keep my blade sharp if I'm going out or I'm going over to a mate's house or whatever, and take this with you. I'm going to try to get these all off camera. Right. This is what I tried first of all. Oh, let me just get this out of the way here. Right. This is a little Smith's one that I bought and it's 750 grit. And I thought I'll buy this first to see what it's like, to see if it does bring a blade back. That's great. Absolutely great. And that was only about £14, which is, what's £14? Be about $18, $19. That's a great little buy. It comes in its own little case and it doubles up as it stand to lift it off if you want to set it down flat, you just put that underneath and that lifts it off the ground for you. So that was the first one I bought and liked. So that's why I went on to this one here is 34. So we're getting near the guts of £50 for one of these. That's or £50, $50 for one of these. And that's quite a lot of money for a sharpening when I've got stones. I just wanted this to be beside me and try all sorts of different things. It's a wee bit of green. I have bits of compound all over the place. But now what I did order, and this cost me £3 off the China market. And this one is Amtech. And you get a 3-year warranty on it, which I thought that's blooming great. And I think they're in the UK. But it's got 200, or was it 240 and 400? That's the 240 and that's the 400. And I'm going to try reprofiling a knife with this to see what one it does to it and whether it just ruins. I don't know what the diamonds are like on this compared to the DMT. But for that price, it can't go wrong. So I'll give a try at that and I'll let you know how that gets. I'll let you know how they all get on. I'll do videos with them. This is just me. The collection's just got together now. This is the one that I was raving about and I done the video on. This is the Fokniven CC4. I used to have the DC4. This has got the ceramic top and ceramic base as well. That's why they call it the CC. So this is beautiful. This is so smooth and it puts a lovely, I'm not going to say it gives you a mirror finish, but it gives you a blooming good finish, a good shiny finish on your knives. And then you can go to a strop and you can bring it close to mirror finish. That's over there. And not always, all these things stay in here. This is my one for taking out and going to the woods. This is the one, this is an old DC4 with a piece of leather on the back of it. And I just, before I go out, I cover it in compound. But I've had it, and this is the other side of the DC4. I bought these. This is 400 and this is 1,000. These are diamond sharpening things. Look how thin they are. I bought these from a well-known China shop, and they only cost, I think it was £3 for two of them delivered. So I put that in there. That's my backup when I'm going to the woods. But I actually used this one, and it actually worked really well. Now, it was quite coarse, quite rough, not the best finish, but if I'm outside somewhere and I've got that, I know I can bring any knife or even a hatchet. I would use that on the edge of it. There's 400 grit on this. I could sharpen the edge of a hatchet up on it. So that's a spare one now I've got in here. And this is something that I didn't know. Maybe other people do know, but when you've got the ceramic stone, especially a white ceramic, you have to constantly go out and clean them. Well, I do. After each one I clean them. I don't like leaving them dirty. So somebody said to me, use a rubber. Rather than going in and getting the Ajax out and giving it a scrub, drying it off, use a rubber. So I just use a rubber and give it a clean off the rubber. It lifts all the metal filings off there, and on you go to the next one. So now it doesn't get it perfect, you'll see that there, but it's absolutely fine. Box of rubbers cost me £1, and I don't know how many got in it. This is my little round file. I think everybody's had these in their time, haven't they? The little round file. It has got a flat spot at the top. Oh, it has got a flat spot there. You could use it for sharpening. I have done before with my little orange knife, as you all know, my little orange knife. And this works, but I use this mostly to go around the insides of curves on knives that are a bit sharp, haven't been done, or even on the G10 to smooth bits off. I'll use this here. Great little article. Again, couple of £1 in China, and they're yours. That's quite hard to do behind the camera. So that's that. I then have one of these little screwdrivers that's got a few Torx bits on it. I keep it in there just in case I have to tighten anything. And I have a few cotton buds in there. And that is my little drawer of goodies that I would use to sharpen. Now, like most things, I'm going to throw a challenge out by the end of this. Is I want to see what you have. What do you keep it beside you like I do? Or do you just have it all in a sharpening room? I love this because I can just sit on the couch and do what I want to do. And there's my glue. So that just goes into a wee drawer, and I know where everything is whenever I want to sharpen a knife. So we'll take that out of the way. Now, the next one is the one that lies on the floor beside me. Now, this has my propper. I got this Bird, and Frankie and Bird recommended this, and I love it. It is so good. There's so many bits in it. Absolutely amazing. Never stripped anything with that whatsoever. And this is another one where I have a magnet on it to hold these bits in. They're double-sided bits, but they didn't have very good restraint, so I just stuck a magnet on it. And again, I just use, if I have to use two, I just keep that there for it. I have some blue thread locker, little and often. I have a little tin here with a pair of scissors, just for cutting things. But what I've done to this little tin, if you'll see in the bottom of it, I have a little magnet. I put that like that, and when I take the screws out of a knife, I throw them in here, and as you'll see, it holds that pair of pliers in. Just this wee screw, or that wee magnet. It'll hold a pair of pliers in, holds all my screws in there. I never have to worry about them jumping all over the place. So it's handy to have in there. And I also have some ballistol, which is what I was recommending when I first started, to oil knives. And it's all right, but it's not food safe. But any work knives I've got or anything like that, I'll still, use that. Although, to be honest, the mineral oil, I seem to be quite happy with. I'm going to keep trying it until I find that it's not working. Do you know what I mean? Because the ballistol is a bit thicker than the mineral oil. Mineral oil is quite watery. You don't use very much at all. So this is my little bottle for my ballistol. And I use a needle, hypodermic needle for... that's not a funny pastime I have. My son uses them, so I got it off him. And this is some cheap paste I bought to put on strops. from China, and I'll never buy it again because it was worse than useless. I don't even know why I've got it in there, but I have a fear of throwing it away and then finding out I done it wrong. So that's it. It was cheap paste. I don't cost nothing. And I keep a lighter there. I have a wee pair of gloves, and I have a wee. I don't know why I have this card in there. It's like a picture house card, but I just keep it in there in case I need it. Do you know what I mean? I can't explain why I keep things. I'm a bit of a hoarder, as you've probably seen. So all these just go back in here. And again, it's just nice to have. I love having everything all just to hand. Put that there. And that on top. And there again, and that sits down by my little chair. So them two boxes by me have everything I need to do any knife that I have. And that's what I use. Now, lastly, but probably my most important thing, is in this little leather satchel my wife made for me. I have my blue Poo Smurf. Now, this is the compound I use for stropping, and I have had this for, well, probably a year now. And let me tell you, I'm not shy on using it, and it's still a huge block. There's 3/4 of a block left. And then I have a nice strop. I bought this one. You can see how thick the leather is on it. And I love this strop. It's just nice. It's lovely in my hand. There's plenty of room for sitting down in front of the TV and stropping my knives. It probably does need to be stripped back a little bit now. It's getting a bit shiny, but do you know, it does the trick, and I'm quite happy. Every time I'll give it one wee quick wipe with the compound, and then I'll sit and sharpen for a while. Again, you're probably not supposed to use that much, but it costs nothing, so that's my pleasure in night times. I really do get an awful lot of pleasure when I'm stropping. So that sits down on the floor on top of the tin, and then I always have an old rag just to clean things up. So folks, that's my cleaning compliment of. I'll get this, raise this up a wee bit. There we go. That's my cleaning kit for my knives. That's and sharpening kit for the knives. Stephen, I hope this was what you were looking for. I will update people on these diamond stones, the foldable diamond stones, and I'll see how I get on with them. Other than that, folks, I would love it. I'll leave it as an open video. How do you do yours? Have you got it in one place where you just would go and do it, or do you sit by your chair and do it? Let me know. Let me see what you've got. This is not. I have my oil stones and all. They're in different cupboards. They're in the kitchen. Beside the kitchen, I have a cupboard with all my oil stones in it. And I'm not going to do the two because it'd just be too much to go through. This is what I call more my everyday sharpening. My oil stones, if I got if I want to put a mirror finish on something, I'll get up and do them. I've stopped putting mirror finishes on so much because if I'm going to use them, the sharpness in the mirror finish, it's gone within the first couple of strokes. So, but I like to have them nice and I like to have them gleaming. And don't so much go for that mirror finish anymore. Just simply because I find it a waste of time. But I'm looking for these to give me enough that when I hold the knife up to camera, that, the knife looks like that. Its edges maybe not mirror sharp. That's not really giving you a good view of that. They're not mirror sharp, but they're sharp. That's a lovely little knife, this, by the way. This is my little favourite at the moment. Now, folks, that's it. I'm not going to drag that on. But I enjoyed showing you. I just realised just how much now I've got on top of it. And I think that's it, nearly sorted. The only other thing is, over time, if I like the DMT, I'll probably upgrade this if this doesn't do the job. But let me tell you, if it does do the job, I'll buy a couple of them and just keep them for that purpose, for reprofiling. I don't do a lot of reprofiling. because I don't really work a knife that hard that I have to do it. But I'm hoping to get into the markets, especially next year, to buy old knives in the market, and then I'll need to reprofile old knives from the market and things like that, especially old pen knives. That's what I'm going to branch into next year. So there we go. That's it. I'm finished. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all my new subs. If you haven't had a wee chat with me, come in the back of this video, say hi to Stephen, I'm new, and just let me say hello to you, I welcome you, and we'll see you in the future, and we'll get a chat over the next few months. But thank you so much for all my new subs. Thank you so much for everybody who took part in the giveaway. I couldn't have been happier with the winners. They're all lovely people, 3 lovely people, and roll on next year and we'll do it all again. So, top of the morning till you, I'm away for a wee cup of tea. Bye.